Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is Cyrus the Great, Philosopher and Builder of Empires, by Dr. John D. Bozeman, and comes from the November-December 2019 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. There is a deep, and usually frustrated, desire in the hearts of all to act benevolently rather than selfishly, and one good case of generosity can inspire dozens more. Therefore, I established a royal court where my friends could show respect to each other and cultivate courtesy until harmony bloomed. Such is my paraphrase of Cyrus the Great's words, quoted in Xenophon's Cyrus the Great, The Arts of Leadership and War, edited by Larry Hedrick. Cyrus the Great is sometimes mentioned in the craft. He is also praised in the Hebrew scriptures as the Babylonian king who allowed the exiled Jews in Babylon to return to Israel. In this article, we learn more about this remarkable man who, though never having heard of Masonry, embodies many of its highest virtues. If you're a Master Mason, check out the Master Craftsman Online College, the premier education platform from the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, Southern Jurisdiction. From craft lodge to Scottish Rite philosophy, visit www.mastercraftsmancollege.org for complete info and use promo code SRJ2024. That's SRJ2024 for 20% off any course. Cyrus was born around 600 BCE in Persia, now Iran. His father was a minor king, and Cyrus spent many years as a happily married man who assisted his father in running his kingdom. Cyrus's father died when Cyrus was 40. Soon after, Cyrus's kingdom was attacked by King Astyages, widely thought to be more powerful than Cyrus. Cyrus, however, surprised many, first by defeating Astyages and then by sparing his life. Cyrus then made friends with his former enemies, a testimony to his art of leadership, appointing them as governors of their regions for his unexpected new empire. A similar course of events occurred when Cyrus was attacked by the famously wealthy King Croesus of the Lydian Empire. Cyrus used brilliant tactics to defeat this leader as well. Cyrus later defeated the Babylonian army, allowing Cyrus to enter the city without additional bloodshed. He also spared the life of the former ruler, Nabonidus, treating both the ex-ruler and his wife with courtesy. Cyrus now controlled the largest empire the world had ever seen. People thought Cyrus's military tactics and empire remarkable, but were truly amazed by his tolerant and magnanimous spirit after his victories. Cyrus lived in an era in which wars were viewed as conflicts between warring gods. Cities and nations who lost were killed or enslaved and their temples destroyed. Cyrus rejected this approach entirely. He treated his former adversaries, both leaders and common people, with kindness and respect. Further, he went out of his way to learn about and praise their various faiths, visiting and making donations to the upkeep of the temples. It was through this practice that Cyrus became aware of the Jews in Babylon and their plight, allowing them to return to Israel and providing support for the rebuilding of the Jewish temple. As recorded in the Bible, "Thus saith Cyrus king of Persia, All the kingdoms of the earth hath the Lord God of heaven given me, and he hath charged me to build an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? The Lord his God be with him, and let him go up." 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 23. We also read in Ezra chapter 4, verse 3, that King Zerubbabel of the Jews, upon being freed from Babylonian captivity, declared, "We ourselves together will build unto the Lord God of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, hath commanded us." According to the Deuterocanonical 1 Esdras chapter 6, verses 18 through 19. the holy vessels of gold and of silver that Nebuchadnezzar had carried away out of the house at Jerusalem and had set them in his own temple. Cyrus the king brought forth again out of the temple of Babylon, and they were delivered to Zerubbabel, with commandment that he should carry away the same vessels and put them in the temple at Jerusalem, and that the temple of the Lord should be built in his place. Much of the symbolism and lore of Freemasonry, of course, revolves around the temple at Jerusalem. Thus, in this vein, the 15th degree of Scottish Rite postulates a legendary audience of Zerubbabel at the court of Cyrus the Great. The 7th degree of Masonry's York Rite has a similar Masonic exploration of the biblical narrative of Cyrus freeing Zerubbabel and the others to rebuild the Jewish temple. Although Cyrus died at the age of 70, his empire lasted another 200 years, with his successors generally following his tolerant policies. However, Cyrus's moral example has proved even more enduring. His views on statecraft and religious toleration deeply influenced Xenophon, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, and, more recently, Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson. Interestingly, Cyrus's own tomb is something of a physical manifestation of his wisdom. After some 2,500 years, the tomb still stands. It is the oldest known work of earthquake-resistant architecture. The base provides an unmoving foundation, while allowing the upper structure to move slightly in the event of an earthquake. We humans require the same, knowing when to stand resolute and when to be tolerant and yielding. In the world of Cyrus, quoted from the excellent book cited above, whenever you can, act as a liberator. Freedom, dignity, wealth. These three together constitute the greatest happiness of humanity. If you bequeath all three to your people, their love for you will never die. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.